I've been using Lanoguard for 2 years now on our motorhome, our 1998 Heimer built on a Fiat Ducato chassis. And if you want to see what happened last year, 12 months ago, then check out this video, or I'll leave a link in the video description. Unlike other products, Lanoguard is environmentally friendly. It's made up of natural products such as sheep's wool, which does give it a bit of a funny smell. Well, sheep smell, but it does go away after a few days. Being environmentally friendly, it does mean you don't need any PPE or anything to protect the environment. But I do suggest you wear a pair of goggles and gloves, because it does get a bit messy when you start to apply it and you don't want to get it in your eyes. I do like wearing a hat as well, just to protect my head and my hair from when I hit my head against a bit of the wax on the chassis. Now, you need to apply Lanoguard every 12 to 18 months. It's not a treat and forget product, unlike all these other ones. Now, some people might think that as a downside of Lanoguard, but I think it allows me to get my head underneath the chassis and take a look around every 12 months, see if there's any problems. Because the thing is with all these products, Lanoguard, Dinitrol, wax oil, underseal, etc., they are just rust preventers. Like it says on here, rust protection. So as an example, 12 months ago, I noticed that on the front cross member, there was some rust spots forming. The water seemed to be getting underneath the wax oil underseal that I put on years ago when I had to replace the whole front cross member there. It's happening again. The wax oil is not protecting, or it's stopped protecting the cross member. Now, I've had another look just now, and what I've noticed is that it's not so bad, because I put the Lanoguard grease all along it as well last year, so it's protected even more now. But it just goes to prove that you should inspect your chassis every so often, and I think Lanoguard, because it's transparent and you have to get, you should apply it every 12 months, it does help with that situation. Lanoguard is also not a rust converter. Now, on the back here, it does actually give you some features. Hermetically seals and stops rust, can be applied over surface rust, long-term protection, water, acid, salt and alkaline resistant, heat resistant to 450 degrees C, jet wash resistant up to 200 bar or 3000 psi, protects from the effects of UV, biodegradable, non-evaporating, non-leaching, non-conductive to 70 kilovolts, prevents electrolysis, eco-friendly, 3 times more protective than type 2 zinc coating. I don't know what they're referring to there. Can be used on all electrical vehicles without worry. So my steps for today and the next few days is that I'm going to give it a clean, I'm going to jet wash it, then I'm going to inspect it, see where if there's any parts that need extra protection or rust has built up or anything, which shouldn't be, but we'll see what happens. And then I'm going to reapply the spray and the grease. So I'm going to jet wash it, and if there's any sensitive areas which I don't like using the jet wash, then I use the hose and a brush. The instructions do say that you just need to jet wash it, but I've found that I get a bit, I don't know, anal, a bit OCD kind of thing, where it's got to be clean. I can't see the point of applying something if the surface isn't clean already. I'm going to aim for doing it in 3 days. First time it took me, I think, 5 and then 4. So hopefully it's going to take me 3 days. I'm going to kind of rein myself in, if you see what I mean. And what I'm going to do is I'll do a corner at a time. I'll take a wheel off, clean it all up, because without the wheel there, you really can get the hose in and the jet washing, and you can get in there and get your yourself all mucky and whatever, getting the dirt off if there is any. And then I'm going to let it dry overnight, and then inspect it, treat anything that needs doing, and then spray my Lanoguard. So I best get going. Starting at the rear, I took off a wheel and had a look underneath. It didn't look too bad. It looked dirty under there, but not very muddy, unlike the first time I did this. I set to work with the jet wash and gave it a quick wash.
Taking another look, it didn't seem like I'd cleaned it. There was a pile of dirt on the ledge at the back, which I got rid of, and the rest of the chassis still looked dirty. I did try agitating the surface using a brush, but that didn't seem to do much. I also moved the jet wash closer to the chassis, which did seem to clean it better, but it would have taken much longer to clean, and I just couldn't be bothered to do all that all over the chassis. I also cleaned underneath across the cross members through to the wheel on the other side. Moving to the front was the same story. After removing a wheel, I had a quick gander and then jet washed it. I didn't bother using the gentler hose either, I just wanted to get it done.
It's the following day, and what a beautiful day it is. Brilliant sunshine, no rain is forecast, which is very good for me today. Now I've been underneath the chassis. It's all dry now, and I've had a quick inspection, and I must say it's looking not too bad actually. Last year, 12 months ago, I noticed there was some flaking paint where there was bare metal, so the water's getting underneath somehow and pulling that paint off. So last year I dabbed on some of the Lanoguard grease, and that seems to have helped. It's a lot better under there this year. So let me take you round and I'll give you a look at the highlights and maybe some lowlights. Right, let's start off with my biggest problem on the chassis. That is this corner here, this T-piece. It's right near the wheel, near the suspension, and it has slowly been getting worse over the years. It has blown. How bad it is, it looks okay still at the moment, but I think I've slowed it down. So that is a positive. This is for the handbrake. This adjusts the handbrake depending on different loads. It has a proper name, I can't remember. But that, I don't remember that looking like that last year. So that might have changed. But generally everything looks brilliant. All this underneath here was flaking away, and now it isn't. Same here as well. That was all flaking away, and on top it might be a bit dirty, but I can't clean it off. Can you see that? Up there as well. Up here is okay. The back of the chassis looks fine. This was a problem, if I remember. This here. But that looks okay. These holes along the bottom, they're looking okay. Nothing wrong with those. That bit was getting worse, but that looks fine. Yeah. There's all flaking off around here. I'm on the left-hand side of the motorhome now, just in front of the wheel there, the rear wheel. And the outriggers, now these aren't doing anything, right? So they haven't got a bolt in, so they're not holding the body on. But over the years, these have been slowly getting worse. But I think I've slowed it down. There's another one there. Of course, they're probably rusting on the inside now, if they are at all. Here's the rear outrigger. That's all right, I think. The right-hand side looks like that. There's the outrigger there. That doesn't look too bad, does it? Again, my jet washing can't be. hasn't been too good. I was concentrating with the jet wash on the metal part of it, the chassis, rather than the wood. Here's another outrigger down the right-hand side. Well, that's my welding from last year. Remember that all there had to be replaced because there was a massive gap there. So that's looking okay. This is the first welding I ever did years ago, and that's looking not too bad either. Look at that. Again, all this was flaking off last year, but that seems to have stopped. Some more welding I've done. It's looking good. And when I say it's looking good, I don't mean my welds are looking good. I mean that it doesn't seem to be rusting.
because my welding is terrible. Right, let's go to the front now and have a look there. We're now in front of the left front wheel, and that's not looking too bad at all. Underneath there as well. See, again, it was flaking paint there. And now we're in front of the right front wheel. I mean, doesn't look any worse, but again, this is a spot in the future which may cause us a problem. And this is the front cross member. This is what the radiators sit on. Now remember, this is what I had a problem with last year, where we had flaking paint going underneath the wax or car body undersealer. It's still doing it here. You can see that? Still going underneath here, but it's still flicking. This is wax all coming off. But it's not looking too bad actually. It seems to have, looks like it's sorted out my problem. What I mean by that is I went over this last year with
Lanoguard grease,
and it's looking like it's slowed it down or stopped it. I'd hope it stopped it, but it might have just slowed it down. You never know. But at least I can see what's going on. So I'm going to have to sort this bit out. Pull back the paint a bit and then cover it with the
grease.
And now we're behind the front right wheel, and that jacking point again is looking not too bad at all. This section here, that was all looking a bit, well, it needed treating, so that's looking good as well. That's good, excellent. Now I'm back under the motorhome and I'm looking rearward. This here is the grey tank, and I've noticed there's some rust forming on here. I don't remember it last year, but I mean it was 12 months ago. I mean it's just surface rust, nothing to worry about, but I might get the wheel at that, just to, the other one as well, look. Just to, looks like I've missed it as well, doesn't it, with the Lanoguard. It's not shiny. My biggest worry is this axle. It's not the axle itself. It's, first of all, what is this on it? Is this rust or is this, looks like bird poo? No idea what that is. White. White would mean aluminium. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I have no idea what that is. It's not aluminium, this is steel. And it's all the way along, look. I don't know what it is. Anyway, the thing is this brake line. These brake lines I put in last year, the new ones. They're supposed to be copper. They look slightly rusty, which you would have thought they would go green. Oh, I know what this is. No, this is not rust. It's the colour of the Lanoguard, isn't it? It looks brown like rust. But it can't be rust, because if they were copper, they'd be green. What I meant to say, if the copper, or maybe a mixture of copper and something else, if they were rusting, the copper would go green. Now this copper is looking great. Nothing wrong with that. So maybe those brake lines at the right at the back have picked up some dirt, and that's what I'm seeing. Dirt and dust, that's what I'm seeing, rather than rust. I mean, it doesn't look rusty, it just looks like on the surface, you know. That is going to be our looky around and my inspection. Let's get and do some work. Oh, by the way, I almost forgot. If you're interested in getting some Lanoguard for yourself to do your own vehicles, then I'll leave a link in the video description and you get a discount as well. Now I have got some more Lanoguard, a new 2-litre tub, and that's because the older stuff, it looks like it's gone a funny colour, and I'm not too sure about it, to be honest, and you're supposed to replace it every so often as well. And the grease also looks like it's gone a funny colour, but the thing with the grease is that, you know, you're dipping it in, you're dipping your brush in and then painting on, whereas the spray is not in contact with any dirt. I still think you can use the old Lanoguard, it's just gone a dark colour. To use a Lanoguard grease, you need to heat it up in a tub of water, Once it's melted, you can paint it on, and you should keep it hot by leaving it in the hot water. I regreased all the problem areas that I've just shown you, starting with that T section near the rear wheel, followed by all the outriggers and everything else that required it. I also regreased those areas where I've done some welding, including the jacking point and the large hole. That rear brake pipe got a light coating of rust converter primer, just in case it was some sort of rust. At the front, I removed these plastic bung things and applied the grease here and around where the brake pipes are connected to. The other wheel got the same treatment, again around the bung and the brake pipe mount. I did spot a place that I completely missed last year. Looking at the previous video, I can see that the paint is flaking off. So I removed the paint, sprayed the rust converter and then applied the grease when it had dried. I picked at the front cross member with a screwdriver to remove the flaking wax oil and reapplied the grease. And that was the end of another day.
It's another beautiful day here, and it's going to give me a great opportunity to, well, I hope, finish off doing the Lanoguard on the chassis. All I need to do is the spraying, which is the simplest part. You just point and spray and mist comes out, just covering the area. And the other part I need to do is spray the inside of the chassis, so inside all the cavities and stuff, which that can get a bit messy because it's a bit drippy. Anyway, I'll best get out there.
The Lanoguard sprayer is a simple matter of placing the tube in the bottle and doing up the cap. After a few squeezes of the trigger, you get a mist. I had a few problems at first, but I got it working. Or so I thought.
I think I've just had my first problem I've ever had with Lanoguard, and that is with the sprayer. You squeeze the trigger several times and nothing much comes out. And I've heard people on my previous videos of when I do my Lanoguard, you know, the comment section, some people say, oh, I had to send the sprayer back, it was garbage and all this kind of thing. I think I found out what it is. So the sprayer is made up of the handle, of course, and then the tube, and then at the end is a cap with a circlip on it. Now the circlip stops the hose from coming out of the bottle when you're using it. However, mine was all the way up here. All right, so it was going into the bottle and it was doing that. So all it was doing was sucking in air. So I just moved the circlip down and now it works perfectly. All I've done is push it in and then push it in a bit further, and then that's your job done. This video can now continue.
Now everything is working, I set about spraying everywhere which is metal and avoiding the wooden floor of the motorhome. Spraying rubber and electrical parts are okay. According to the instructions, you only need a small amount, but of course I ignored that and sprayed liberally. You can also spray the exhaust. And of course the camera got covered in the spray and several times I had to stop to wipe the lens. Around the rear brake pipes I applied small squeezes and more targeted sprays, simply because I wanted to make sure the pipes got a covering and that the inside of the brake drums didn't get coated. To spray around the front wheels, I removed them one at a time and covered the disc brake with a bag so I didn't get them covered in Lanoguard. With all the outside done, I sprayed the inside of the chassis using the 360-degree injector wand. Rather than going to waste, I decided to use the Lanoguard from last year that I mentioned earlier in the video. And here is what it looks like the day after when everything stopped dripping. It'll take a few days to dry, but won't dry 100%. It'll dry with a similar texture to a wax candle.
Well, I'm all done for another year. Lanoguard has covered the entire chassis underneath there, and it's taken me probably two and a half days, I think. Today wasn't a full day, yesterday was a full day, and Monday, the first day, that wasn't a full, that was half a day, maybe just 4 hours. So yeah, say 2.5, 3 days in total, which kind of basically means I've hit my target. Anyway, so if you're interested in getting Lanoguard for yourself, I'll leave a discount code and a link in the video description for you. And if you've enjoyed this video or it's helped you, then give it a thumbs up, and maybe if you want to, give it a subscribe as well. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. Goodbye. And I am going to have a shower now. Bye-bye.